Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have 11 articles in this episode for you. All the URLs are in the description of the video for your convenience. The first one we have here is off of CNN. Seems like there was an awful lot of people went berserk on Easter Sunday. Shootings, but let's get started here. This one's from Cleveland. It says Cleveland police say suspect in Facebook homicide video, Ohio. And this, if you want to pull it up to see it, but it says Cleveland suspect who authorized or who authorities say killed an elderly man and posted the video on Facebook on Sunday to surrender. Bring this to a conclusion today, Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams told reporters during a search for the suspect identified as Steve Stevens. Any further bloodshed in this incident tonight, Williams added. The police said late Sunday that Stevens may be out of state at this time. The authorities in Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, and Michigan to be. Stevens didn't know the elderly victim. 2 p.m. said Cleveland authorities, who did not release a motive. Stevens also claimed pitted, according to police. Currently, there are no other victims that we know of. Authorities said Stevens is a black male and weighs 244 pounds. He has a full beard. Seen wearing a dark blue and gray or black striped polo shirt. Stevens is driving a white Ford Fusion with temporary license. Cleveland police. Authorities believe Stevens recently purchased the car. Happened to he is armed and dangerous. Considered, well, he is considered armed and dangerous. So we want people to be careful out there, Williams said. The FBI is assisting Cleveland search for Stevens. Nearly 5 hours after the shooting, authorities hadn't had a verifiable report of a sighting of Stevens. Hundreds of leads had poured into the department, police said. What happens today is senseless, and if Steve has an issue, he needs to talk to some folks to get that resolved. And then there's an insert here, shooting update. Suspect vehicle is a white Ford Fusion with temporary tag. Wanted male is still armed and dangerous. Cleveland police of the shooting from callers outside area who saw the Facebook post, according to police union president Steve Loomis. The video on Stevens' Facebook page showed pointed at an unidentified man's head. The gun is fired and the man recoils and falls to the ground. The video was posted Sunday afternoon, and Facebook later to it. The video of the shooting was not brought, was previously recorded and then uploaded to Facebook by Stevens, according to a Facebook. In a statement, the spokesperson said the shooting was crime. The content on Facebook, we work hard to keep it on Facebook and are in touch with law enforcement and emergencies when there are direct threats to physical safety. Victim was a good man. Authorities identified homicide victim as Robert Goodwin, age 74. From what we can tell now, a random person out. We don't know why, Williams said. Godwin had just left his children eating an Easter meal when he was killed. CNN affiliate reported. He is a good guy. Shirt off his back, and I'm not just saying that for these cameras. Godwin Jr. told WOIO, "This man right here was a good man. I hate he's gone. I don't know what I'm going to do." Godwin's daughter said is going to stop. Police earlier had reported the victim's name as Goodwin. Friend, it says Stephen's mother, Maggie Green, told CNN she had spoken to her son on Sunday, and he told her he was mad with his. That's why he's shooting people, and he won't stop until his mother or girlfriend tell him to stop. Her son to stop. She said she was upset and in disbelief. were interviewing Stephen's girlfriend on Sunday, Loomis said. At Beechbrook, a behavioral health agency in Northwest Ohio that serves children, teenagers, and families, according to a spokeswoman for the facility. We are shocked and horrified, like said Nancy Courtmeyer for Beechbrook. To think that one of our employees could do this is awful. Not provide any details on the length of Stephen's employment at Beechbrook, specific job title. The hunt for Stevens caused alarm. The university issued an alert on social media. The shelter-in-place advisory was lifted Sunday evening. And urged people to watch out for each other. He said Cleveland police had paired others as they hunted for Stevens. Other law enforcement officers with Cleveland officers, the police said. He needs to turn himself in so that he can get the help he needs, and he can't keep victimizing this community based on his issues, Williams said. Next article, ABC 334 for the hamster to catch up. It doesn't feel as bunny's out of town. Here we go. Center Point mayor says carnival was in compliance with safety laws when the shooting happened. Center Point, Alabama. Night, Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies are looking for the gunman of shooting 6 people at the church carnival in Center Point. Center Point's mayor called violence shocking. Anderson said, in the city's 15-year history, there has never been an incident like this one. People packed up the big spring carnival at Cathedral of the Cross Church. Early the carnival turned into chaos. It's just why somebody would do something or shoot in a crowd of people around, said Mayor Henderson. It's disappointing. Weekend fun ended in gunfire. The Jefferson County said 6 people were shot. Teens began fighting and started shooting as he ran away. It's a shame that one person ruined the whole thing for him. In a statement, the carnival organizers said they took Hampshire me here. Okay, they took every precaution to ensure the general public safety. Organizers said they hired private had searched and seized a clearly visible sign exhibiting weapons. And said Center Point does have a mass gathering outline security and paramedic perimeter events. He said the carnival organizers were convinced the carnival people did all they could do, they had available enough security to be able to watch all 800 people in attendance at once. Reasonable. They can't have one deputy for every person that doesn't use. I think they said it was 800 in there. It's look and see everybody at the same time. Anderson said he does not think changes to the gathering ordinance because of the event. He believes this really could. He said right now the main thing, victims. Okay, here's the statement from the carnival organizers. Half of the event organizers for the 10th annual Spring Carnival held in Center Point. Well, hamster. All right. He's jumping around here. If he's got a flea, says, okay. On behalf of the event organizers, 10th annual Spring Carnival Extravaganza held at April the 12th through the 16th at Church, we want to publicly express our for the victims, patrons, and the community at large for the senseless act of violence that occurred on Saturday, April the 15th. While our organization every safety precaution made available to us to better ensure the safety of highly skilled sheriff deputies, along with additional private security personnel, additional lighting, applying search and seizure procedures, along with posting clearly visible signs at the gate entrance stating no weapons of any kind allowed. There is no excuse for breaking the law and infringing rights to spend quality time with. We want to thank the Jefferson Sheriff's and Police Departments for their immediate response to this situation by quickly area, which led to several being arrested. We want to also thank the fire and rescue units on the scene for particular attention to the victims involved. We have decided to close today in the best interest of all. The community's faithful support of means a lot to us, and we want the public to know that we are doing everything possible. Family safety is preserved and remains our top priority. They've got a link if you want to hear what the church pastor has said about it, but the same vein. The is about another shooting that went down. It's off today.com, Melbourne, Florida. Says 3 people shot in Melbourne Park. Were shot Sunday evening in Melbourne when 2 men in a sedan drove to the Lipscomb Park area and began shooting into a crowd of some 200 that had gathered for a party on Easter night. To Melbourne Police Commander, 2 black males drove into the park area street after 7 p.m. ball courts and started firing shots. There were like 20 to 30 shots. It sounded like a bunch of firecrackers, said witnesses. Diana Taylor, who was just visiting from South Florida. All 3 victims were taken to Holmes Regional Medical Center, threatening injuries. Detectives were on the scene Sunday night looking for clues and asking witnesses for a vehicle. They were also headed to the hospital to question the victims. Just scroll down a little bit more. Here we go. There's some photos in this if you want to see them. It says police closed off Monroe Street for short. Officers from the city, Palm Bay, and County Sheriff's Department were among the agencies that responded. Pictures here. Area where the shooting cordoned off with yellow tape, and everyone leave. Neighbors, homes. What might have happened? The victims had yet been identified. Police believe one was 17 years old and were adults. Then we get off into the oil spill. This is out of digitaljournal.com. It says oil well in Alaska shut down after oil spill. Gas. This is out of Prudhoe Bay. Are preparing to shut down an oil well on Alaska's North Dead Horse tonight. It cracked Friday and of crude oil before it froze and the initial leak stopped. Doing natural gas. Anchorage-based BP Exploration Alaska Incorporated, a subsidiary of BP plc, is the owner of the well. Prudhoe Bay oil field. The Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, says employees discovered the uncontrolled gas from the top of well house at 7:30 Friday. No people were in the vicinity of the well at the time of the release, and there are no injuries, said Brett, BPUS Media Affairs on Friday. Crews have secured the site on the scene, and crew members are now working to safely shut off the well. There is no the volume of oil spilled or the amount of natural gas that's still coming from the wellhead. Based on an overflight with the release of oil appears to be contained surrounding the wellhead and has not reached the tundra Saturday. It's too dangerous at this time for made up of state and federal and BP employees to get near the well, reporting that there are actually two leaks, one near the top and one further down the well assembly, says BP. Was the one leaking crude oil and hazardous natural gas, but a safety valve activated and shut. The second leak is still leaking natural gas as well as a small amount of crude oil, said BP, out of abundance of caution because no one really knows how much oil and gas. BP employees were evacuated in native Alaskan villages for dozens of miles around have been notified, Associated Press. No injuries have been reported. He says 1.5 acres may have been affected. No wildlife has been impacted by the spill as of Saturday night. Next one about the oil spill. It says BP trying to get leaking oil well under control on Alaska's North Slope. It says a BP oil and gas production well on Alaska's North Slope blew out Friday morning, and on Saturday afternoon, the well was still not under control as responders fought freezing temperatures and winds gusting up to 38 miles an hour. Efforts to get the well under control being hampered by damage to a well pressure gauge that the well itself has jacked up or risen 3 to 4 feet. Environmental Conservation said in a situation report on Saturday afternoon. Macondo well in the Gulf of Mexico blew out and caused the largest oil spill in U.S. history, has responded to questions about the well, but information was limited and there was no estimate of natural gas and oil released. Venting natural gas and sending a spray of crude oil into the air Saturday. BP has reported to regulators that the crude spray has landed on drilling pad, but it remains unsafe to approach the well to determine whether the crude spray has affected tundra in the area. An overflight with infrared capabilities indicated that the spray plume did not spread beyond the drilling pad, according to the Alaska DEC. The ADEC also said that the two leaks been identified at the well top and one further down the well assembly. The top leak was misting oil in conjunction with releasing natural gas, the department said, but the activation of the surface safety valve has stopped the release from that point. The bottom leak has been reduced, but is currently leaking gas as well as some minor. BP is in the process of shutting in a well at the Prudhoe Bay oil field that experienced release of hydrocarbon, said Brett Clanton in Houston. In the vicinity of the well at the time of the release, and there are no injuries, he added. Secured the site, is on the scene, and crew members are now safely shut in. All necessary notifications have been made to state and federal regulators. About 5 miles from the airport, a remote town in northern Alaska, the service center for tapping Prudhoe Bay oil field, the largest ever discovered in the United States. Production began there 40 years ago. In general, oil companies have been producing oil and pumping associated natural gas back into reservoirs. oil recovery, but it is also because there is no pipeline to carry natural gas to. This next one is off of the American Mirror, and it says cops sit in patrol car and watch as Trump supporters are attacked. Actually, there is video on this. It says there were numerous reports from those on the scene that Berkeley police largely stayed back agitators, Donald Trump supporters on Saturday. As the violence escalated, police in Berkeley stood down and retreated from the crowds, reporter Tim Pool tweeted. As the violence escalated, police in Berkeley stood down and retreated from the crowds. I have never seen so few police at an event like this. And police ran away despite several Trump rally attendees being attacked. Luke Rodowski puts out a tweet that says, literally blood on the streets, and the police ran away from the Berkeley protest. Live now on Twitter. Reporter Shane Brower is in a patrol car, not engaging in from violence. He put out a tweet that says, I tell a police officer I've been seeing people get beat up, haven't been around. Okay, and they said back to him, hey, now, come on, you guys are hanging back, he asked, and officer standing in an open door of the car, and another sat in the back seat. Be a question for the chief of police, an officer sitting in the driver's seat responded. Public statement, right? The standing officer asked the reporter. For you to our public information officer. Do they told you to hang back? And the cop responded with, as I said, I refer you to our public information officer. And Bauer says, I've been watching all day, beat up pretty bad, and I haven't seen you guys around much. Responds with, okay, and? Show Trump supporters being beaten in the streets as police failed to keep the two sides apart. At one point, several black-clad agitators isolated a lone Trump supporter and pummeled him with fists and feet and clubbed him with a skateboard. And there is an aerial view of this if you want to pull that up to see it. Bad when you can't depend on the police to. Next one here's off of Western Journalism. It says, lunch lady fired after providing free food to students. A lunch lady Ohio Elementary School has been fired after giving free food to hungry children who couldn't pay for their lunch. Said she gave food to Base Elementary School students who were still hungry after eating their small portioned state-provided lunches. Buy them an extra slice of pizza, she told XIX, because I did feel them out. She says, because I did feel them out, I asked them what they had for supper the night before. Sometimes they would tell me nothing. Lady who worked in the school cafeteria for almost 15 years paid for the children's food out of her own pocket, or wrote off the balance with her next paycheck. Food immediately is a violation of district policy, and the Wilmington City School District said that Stolzman failed to repay food she provided to the The district terminated the lunch lady in February for failure to account for food sales at her cashier job and providing food without payment to her grandchildren. Really hard for me. I thought I was doing the right thing, Stolzman told WLWT. I did do wrong. I broke the rule. It was my fault. I just felt like termination was, Stolzman said. Some parents expressed outrage after hearing of Stolzman's termination. feeding kids, that's a no-go. Mother Brenda Mitchell told WLWT, and our community is going to come together. District Superintendent Ron Sexton insists that no child in his jurisdiction ever went hungry at lunchtime. He referred to district policy that provides students with past due accounts a free cheese sandwich instead or burger meal. For people to make the district out to be needs is the hardest part. We care a great deal about our employees. We care a great deal about the students, Sexton said. Our job of 15 years has been hard on Solzman. I want those kids to know that I miss them and that I love them very much, the emotional Solzman said. At the time, Solzman said that she would do the same thing for hungry children at lunchtime. Article of Sacramento. It says lettuce prices on the rise as California's wet winter prevents planting. A good time for y'all to start thinking about your garden and what you're going to get out. This should be a high priority if you eat much of it because it's going to be expensive at the store. Eating healthy is about to take a bigger bite out of your budget. It's wet winter. This is going to cost a lot of cabbage. You might have noticed your local grocery store lacking in lettuce, and the drought-busting winter is to blame. If you're a big fan of salads, BLTs, or anything avocado, you're not going to be a fan of the latest news on produce prices. Right now, you're going to start seeing sticker shock, said the produce expert Michael Marks. The price as you should be seeing this time of year. Like iceberg lettuce took a hard hit, and that restaurants not see price increases on the menu, but it will take a bit line because of the rain. The rain is rain not last week, not last month, but the rain 3 months ago. 3 months ago, crops that we should be harvesting now. We can't harvest those crops because, Mark said, not only might you be paying double, but what you're getting might not even be that good, warns Marks. There we go. Find really high prices. A farmer out there, their lettuce they see in that box, even if it looks like a head of lettuce, they're going to put it in the box. So you're seeing really low quality when you see those high prices. Experts say the price surge for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Off of BizPack review. It says concerns over Amazon's new kids monitor, help for parents, or privacy invading gimmick. If Democrats and former U.S. presidents can spy for political reasons, surely there's a tool for parents to track their children's activities online. Amazon is now introducing the tool, stepping in to help parents with parenting. Amazon puts out a tweet that says free time allows kids access to kid-friendly content with parental controls, and it just got better. And then they have a link. It says find out how, and you click this link. The company's Fire tablets now offer parents a set of tools through their free time service designed to allow a pre-approval of the amount of time kids spend on the tablet, as well as what they are allowed to do, according to the Associated Press. Teresa Payton puts out a tweet, says Amazon aims to help parents monitor and talk, and there's a link there. Since the new tool on the tablet dashboard is free, as is the service from Amazon. As their children explore the internet and read books, play games, or watch videos, parents will have the access to data collected by Amazon on their website. Isn't it? According to the AP, information will include the amount of time spent on ebooks, videos, apps, and web browsing. Parents will also see 90 days worth of details, such as specific books read and videos watched, and how long the child spent on each. also suggest some questions and activities with open-ended questions designed to classic single-word responses from kids. For the book Captain Awesome versus Nacho Cheese Man, for instance, suggested discussion topics include questioning assumptions and assessing the role questions have on friendships. How thoughtful of Amazon to suggest discussion topics for parents who need to know how to communicate with their kids about the books they're reading. A close read of the fine print may offer some insight into how secure the data is that is collected and what the e-commerce giant does 90 days on the website. That is assuming the data is deleted after that period of time. Parents for Privacy puts out a tweet that says, "Parents, please don't fall for this privacy invading gimmick. Amazon aims to help parents monitor and talk to kids." Version of the dashboard tool is available for a $3 and up monthly subscription, offering access to material that Amazon deems appropriate for different aged children. BizPack review. Army Ranger alum give babies afraid of ChckFilA a lesson they will never learn in school. University, and I'm guessing that's how that's pronounced, so, don't send me hate mail if I got it wrong. Dumanesque University students who think chicken sandwich safe spaces should get a crib in their dorm rooms with a pacifier. That's what Army Ranger Sean Parnell, a Dumanesque alum, told Fox News. "Toughen up. Spaces in the real world," said Parnell, the co-founder of the American Warrior Initiative. Parnell is disgusted that are protesting plans to bring ChckFilA to a campus this fall, saying the children restaurants try this again, the children restaurant, saying the chicken restaurants threatens safe spaces for LGBT students. It's been under fire since 2012 after ChckFilA, a Filet president, there we go, Dan Cathy, admitted that his company had donated to organizations that oppose same-sex marriage. University will allow ChckFilA, a restaurant on campus in the fall. The LGBTQ community is furious, calling the decision microaggression against gay students. Said that that's stupid. He pointed out that no one is forcing students to eat at ChckFilA, and trying to ban them from campus is akin to fascism. Parnell said, I would have killed for a ChckFilA on my campus when I was a student at Dubest. It's supposed to prepare you for the real world, not shield you from opposing opinions, and safe spaces do exactly that. Parnell said this is a problem not only at Dumanesque, but across the country. Colleges across the country are failing students in this way. Safe spaces don't prepare students for the real world. That is fascism cloaked in free speech. That's not what America was founded on. That is not what universities are founded on either. Snowflake students who want to be shielded from opposing viewpoints, saying they're in for rude awakening world. If you want to be successful in this life after you leave college, adversity, and open yourself up to a litany of different opinions, Parnell said. You will never be the CEO of a major company or an entrepreneur or a manager if you're not willing to work with people that are different than you. Period. End of story. Next one we have is off of Survival Dan 101. And I brought you part 1 and 2 of this. Now this is part 3. Part 3. Excessive and without rule of law, not a contradiction, but what is coming. Got this in little bitty print here, so let me, big enough that I can see it. There, that's better. It says, first and foremost, on behalf of Survival Dan 101 team, we would like to wish you a happy Easter. Part 3 of the series during the collapse. Part 1 and 2 can be found here and here. So there's 2 links that you can read, 1 and 2, if you haven't, from when I brought them up to you. How many times do these out exactly like you think they will? For me, not often. Often something I think will happen, uh, partially happens, while something else I didn't foresee partially happens too. Reality is a blend of what I foresee and what I didn't see coming, a blend. I think the collapse will be a blend of EROL, excessive rule of law, well, without rule of law. I call it E and WROL. Some in the prepping community talk about getting ready for EROL. They correctly are worried about an oppressive government cracking down after the collapse. Many in the prepping community are getting for WROL, looting and gangs running wild. This is a very likely scenario. This can easily be avoided by spending some time reading, researching, and preparing yourself. There's a lot of free information you can use to learn what to do. Start reading some books for your food storage. You can generate power when the grid's down. Attend some self-defense courses. Make a decent supply of weapons and ammo, and you won't be forced to knock on my door anymore, and I won't be forced to defend my family and shoot you. And learn how you can make a superfood that lasts for years without refrigeration. And he has that link to the Premacan in there again. How can we simultaneously have two things that contradict each other? Too much rule of law and total lawlessness. Actually, a friend of mine has seen it. He is a special operator soldier. He's seen ENWROL in Baghdad and Kabul. Let's look at what ENWROL would look like in America. It starts with things like passed gun laws as an example, which make it a felony to possess most of the guns people have. Some citizens will shoot back when the police try to take their guns. As one New York mayor put it, there will be some Waco-style standoffs. Expect lots of bloody firefights. They will be on the news every night. Assume that during these firefights, some innocent civilians get killed, as they will. People start targeting the police as retribution. Happened. Oklahoma City was retribution for Waco. My spec ops friend, this retribution happened. Houses burned, officers killed, horrific things. The police won't take it lying down. They will react and react hard. You know what happens when someone kills a cop? The killer is rarely taken alive. There will be some bad police who want to abuse people, but in my experience, the vast majority of police aren't like that. Instead, when confronted with retributionists trying to kill them and their families, the police will go into survival mode like any human beings would. They will band together. They will take care of business. You have, try this again. You won't want to have a "Don't Tread on Me" sticker on your vehicle during a traffic stop. There will be police roadblocks and warrantless vehicle searches. This is EROL. Going on, WROL will explode. Why? Because the criminals know that the police are hunkered down behind defined retributionists. This leaves the streets free for criminals to steal, rape, burn, and kill. And they will, big time. So I foresee simultaneous EROL and WROL over the world. In fact, it's going on right now as you read this in some parts of the world. Quick life hacks. There's a new way to bring nearly any type of old battery back to life. And you can click on a link that'll show you how to do that. And there's a video here of that. Then his article goes on and says, what can you do? Lay low, be strictly defensive. Expect both criminals and the police to be potential problems for you and avoid both. Expect both criminals and the police to be potential problems for you and avoid go looking for fights. Stay the hell away from everyone except your family and the people you trust for the first few days and maybe weeks of the collapse while EWROL is unfolding. Be visible. Or I'm sorry, be invisible. Don't show off your AR-15 to the neighbor lady. Don't give the police a reason to suspect you. Repel the criminals, but don't go hunting for them. Be strictly defensive. There will be a time together with like-minded people who want to fix things, but don't assume that will happen on day one. You have to live past the first few days or weeks of the collapse before you can go on to eventually fix things. The best way to live through the initial period is to not assume things will be exactly like you planned. If you've spent hours thinking about after the police, don't do it. If you spent hours thinking about how you'll hunt down criminals, don't do it. Instead, take things as they come, with your primary goal being your survival. Don't get locked into one scenario. Adapt and survive. Happy holidays once again, and may the grace of God be with you. Let's be thankful because Jesus gave us another chance to be a good person. His death cleansed us from our sins. And then there is another video in that. So, that link. And that's all I have for you in that episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news, and subscribe if you haven't done that, and that way you'll stay informed.